In this video, you'll learn about objects in Roblox Studio. Objects refer to anything that's visible or controls behavior in an experience, such as 3D geometry, user interfaces, and scripts that implement gameplay mechanics. There are many different types of Roblox objects with a wide variety of uses, but you'll frequently work with parts, scripts, and services. Parts make up the 3D objects in your environment. Scripts make up the logic of how those objects behave, and services let you run out-of-the-box logic from Roblox. Let's take a second to review these types of objects, starting with parts. The base part class is the core class for physically simulated 3D building blocks, also known as parts, and it defines the properties and methods common to all physical objects. There are two main types of base parts. Basic parts that come in simple shapes like a block, ball, cylinder, wedge, corner wedge, or ladder, and meshes that you can import from 3D modeling software like Blender or Maya. While you can theoretically create a fully functional Roblox experience using only the basic part objects that Studio provides, most creators also import meshes and combine basic parts into more complex shapes through solid modeling operations. Now let's talk about scripts. Scripts are plain text files that let you add custom interactivity and behavior to your place's 3D world, such as triggering events, responding to player input, and saving player data. You write scripts using the Luau programming language. It is a fast, small, safe, gradually typed embeddable scripting language derived directly from Lua. Because Roblox works in a client-server model, you can run scripts on the server, client, or have them communicate across the network boundary. For example, let's look at two types of scripts in Studio. Script objects contain code that runs on either the server or the client, depending on its location and run context property. Module script objects contain code that you can reuse in other scripts. For more information on these script types and where to place them in your projects, check out the links in the description. Last but certainly not least of the three main object types are services. Service objects offer out-of-the-box functionality directly from Roblox that you can customize to meet the unique needs of your experiences. While some services are accessible directly within the Explorer window, others require you to call them from scripts in order to access their functionality. For example, you can add and configure on-screen UI objects within the Starter GUI service. But if you only want to show particular UI objects depending on if a player is using a gamepad, touchscreen, keyboard, or VR device, you must call User Input Service to detect their input type, then add additional logic to display the appropriate UI for that player's device. You can find hundreds of other objects directly in Studio. For example, when you navigate to the Explorer window and click the plus icon next to any service, a pop-up menu opens with a wide selection of available objects, all sorted by the category in which you would use them. To learn more about the full range of objects that you can use in your projects, check out Roblox's Engine API reference section in our Creator Docs. By default, when you create or import an object into Studio, it is restricted and it only exists within that project. However, if you publish that object to the cloud, the object becomes an asset with a unique asset ID that you or others with your permission can reference to reuse that object in other projects. It's important to note that all assets undergo an asset moderation process, in which Roblox performs both human and automated asset moderation on a proactive and reactive basis to ensure assets adhere to the community rules, terms of use, and Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Wait, hold on. You mentioned importing objects. Does that mean you can create objects in third-party tools and then bring them into Studio?
Oh hey, ducks are yellow. That's right. Up until this point, we've only talked about objects that you can create in Studio, but you can also import all sorts of objects for your experiences, such as models, audio files, images, and videos. Let's take a step back and look at the tools that Roblox offers to import, store, and publish objects to the cloud so that they can become assets. The Toolbox and the Creator Hub allow you and your groups to import and store objects across all of your projects. The Asset Manager allows you to import and store objects for a given place. And lastly, the 3D Importer allows you to import 3D objects from third-party modeling tools. Again, all objects that you import through any of these tools are restricted by default unless you grant other creators, groups, or experiences permission to use your assets. And that's a wrap on our overview of objects and assets. For more information on any of these concepts, such as how to update or archive assets once they're in the cloud, check out the links in the description.